Welcome back, everybody. Currently, SBENU wiping the floor with MVP, taking 2 wins very early on. And, you know, first game, somewhat of an upset. The second game, I wouldn't say so much, but it's just that Hero was so ahead. It almost felt like an upset that Curious was able to come back and win that game so convincingly. He
certainly had a chance there. It was a small window of opportunity, not finding it, maybe a little bit bad in positioning. Now it is Blaze versus Leenock on Terraform, and I think this might be their best bet, best chance of getting a win. Panic, aka Blaze. Guy changes his name towards the end of his career. Probably one of the worst moves you could ever do.
You know, only you and I vote for Blaze here, and I totally understand everyone else's choice, but I just look at his Code A games, and I look at Leenock's recent ZVPs, and I feel like Blaze, if he does a good timing attack here, he's going to win it. I got this feeling in my bones. I trust him here on this, just based on his Code A performance.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Looking at both of these players' recent performances, Blaze is looking a lot better. And I think he's got what it takes against someone like Leenock, who has just not been finding any success at all. This guy, he got dominated in at Valencia. He didn't really get anywhere in that. He hasn't been showing good games anywhere, even in Pro League, for a long time now.
Yeah, you know, I just, I have to say, like, I worry for Leenock. You know, he hasn't been looking as good in Challenger. It was one of his chances he had last season. He kind of messed that up as well. And a player of this caliber, having this hard of a time, it looks rough. Now, he is 5-1 versus Protoss. Now, that's a very important stat to note. But, you know, the Protosses are playing against some of them not the best Protosses. And I just, again, I want to say, I feel like if you asked me 6 months ago, I would 100% say Leenock. If you asked me 3 months ago, I would have said 85% Leenock. If you asked me today, and I'm like 40% Leenock, like I'm 60% Blaze. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this guy got all his wins against Protoss at the start of the year as well, so it's been a long time since we've seen him come out and actually take down many Protosses.
All right, guys, well, it's all up to Blaze, though. He needs to win this, or else his team is going to find themselves 3-0'd by SBENU. Here in the top left for MVP, formerly known as Panic, currently known as Blaze.
In the bottom right for SBENU, UA Flash Wolves, it is Leenock. That purple do.
You know, he's really consistently kept his hair around that sort of color.
Yeah, it must be so bad for your hair.
It must be, right? But at the same time, what's really cool about it, I feel, is when you see it in person, it doesn't stand out as much. It's like much dimmer, but when you go in the booth with the lights on you, it looks really good. So it's like, it's very subtle. And in Korea, it's pretty rare to see someone actually dye their hair a color like that. It's somewhat conservative, you know, society, and it's pretty rare to see people dye their hair like this. But it's cool because, like, it doesn't look as bright as you see it now on screen in real life. So it works out really well for him, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it looks good for. It really suits him. Maybe a little bit longer though. I think he got a haircut, and I don't approve of it, Wolf.
Yeah, it's a bit too short, but I think he must have re-dyed it recently. Maybe before he went to DreamHack, because wanted to look good for going to Spain.
For the Spain ladies, maybe. I don't know. But I'm interested to see what he's got planned on this map. You know, one of these newer maps, Terraform. Not a bad map for Zerg by any means. A pretty decent macro map. I think it's a bit of a harder one for Protoss because of that third base. The one you get to the south, quite far away from the national. The one you get closer can be attacked from behind the mineral line by ranged units.
Yeah. Definitely a tough map for that. We are going to see a forge opening here, probably to try to get ahead because the third base is a bit annoying on this map. We see a lot of all-ins and cheeses on this map. We see a lot of 2 barracks proxies. We see a lot of forge openings. It's pretty common. A lot of players don't like playing on this map late game yet, especially because it's not that figured out in Korea.
Exactly.
Overlord is going to see this probe, but he doesn't have a drone down here, which is a problem.
It is a problem. Let's see if he commits to this. We're going to see one pylon to start things off. Going to want a couple more drones down here ASAP so we can start blocking all positions of these cannons.
Yeah, you know, looks like he just wants to wait and see if he's going to finish that pylon.
He's not buying into it at all. He's like, I don't believe you.
This is very real. Well, actually, it looks like he's going to Nexus. I actually really thought he was going to cannon.
I mean, he could have. He could have certainly tried to and maybe even succeeded because Leenock was being very cautious. But look at this now. So much later, but he's sending him down.
Yep. And with 4 drones, you can easily just DPS down a building cannon so quickly.
Yeah, I think he did that because he did see the forge. He's like, oh crap, it could be real. And he sent all those drones down.
They saw Nexus and he was like, oh.
It's like, oh, never mind.
Well, you know, this actually ends up being pretty good for Leenock. He lost some mining time, but he's going to be able to resume right away as the hatchery pops. And he kills a pylon. It's all right. It's a pretty good situation for Leenock, like all things considered. Could have been much worse.
Certainly so. Just a little bit of economic damage there. And he's going to get that third base a little bit more delayed. Probably wait for those things to come out and help get rid of this probe at the third and take it as you do against Forge. Fast expands. Zerg essentially gets this free build order where they can go pool into hatch, and they're completely fine to do so. They know all the timings because this build has been around since 4 years ago, I think, something like that.
I mean, it's basically forever. And nowadays, like, it's even easier to respond to it on these newer maps. Ooh, little assassin drone.
A little peck there, enough to take down the probe. Stops the scouting on the map, which is really helpful as well. And stops that threat of a pylon.
The fact that workers can attack in this game is just like such an important part of StarCraft. It's just, you see these things occur all the time. Of course, you know, the entire early game that we've seen has been dominated by workers, whether they're building fake cannons or defending the cannons or sniping a probe that's out there scouting. It's really cool that even the building units, the workers, the ones that make structures and the ones that mine minerals in this RTS game are like so valuable for so many different things.
Is that a hashtag why I love StarCraft?
Yeah, I should put that there, man. That's because of workers, dude.
Because workers attack.
Because workers attack. Oh, man.
Well, we are seeing a Stargate come out now for Blaze.
He's also going to send the Zealot all the way to the third base. I don't think he's going to find much there. If he caught a Queen transferring, maybe he could do some damage, but...
Might. But, yeah, really just a scout, I think, and kind of get an idea what's going on. He just see it and move back. He's not going to really be able to do any damage.
Yeah, Queen will win that 1v1 anyways, so...
Yeah, going to be that Oracle. So I think we're going to see that Oracle into a third base. Probably is going to be that middle third base compared to the bottom one there. Even though it's a little bit harder to defend from behind, I don't know. It's just when I look at these bases, the southern one is just so out there that if we do see Leenock go for some sort of timing with speed perhaps or roaches, it'd be a little bit easier to take down.
Yeah. 3 spores on the way. Very safe move here by Leenock.
Oh, so smart. Yeah, and it's just the right time too.
You know, the Zealot could have maybe helped him snipe that Queen, but there's just so many units out now. I don't imagine this Oracle would get very much damage done. Even if you have no Spore Crawler, you know, your Oracle's only going to get like 5 kills, but with a Spore, it's like at best 2.
Yeah, transferring drones are his best bet. And behind this, we're seeing 2 Evos go down, which is an interesting sort of investment as well. I'm wondering if it's going to be for Lings.
Gonna get that 4th drone on the transfer.
Oh, he didn't make. I think he was looking to make like a spore or something, but the Queen blocked it.
Yeah, the Queen's like sliding down the ramp sideways. The Queen's just messing everything up, man.
Everything's getting messed up here. These Lings aren't gonna find a cancel on this Nexus with another ship there, but he scouts it out. It's gonna be that south base, so that makes a lot more sense. The more I think about having that middle base as a Protoss, even it's a bad idea.
It's asking for trouble. Once you have, if you take it as your 4th base, you have enough defensive units usually at that point where you're actually controlling the map quite a bit, though, where you're not so worried about it.
You know, I'd love to see this map changed in one way, and that is putting those minerals over the other side. Instead of having face towards the middle, making it a useless base for Zerg and Protoss, put it on the other side and make it a great base for every race.
Even in TBT, it's like hard for Terran to take that base. We saw that in Code A as well. Dream took that base versus Hack, and it caused him big problems.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great for Terran versus Zerg because there's nothing really besides mutas that are going to do anything to it. And, I mean, Terran versus Protoss can go either way.
Historically, if I want to be like a cartographer, like cartography history for a little bit in StarCraft 2, like, the only bases that have really existed in StarCraft 2 in competitive maps that ever had bases like this were always gold based, and it was like the trade-off. It's a gold base, but you can be attacked by range units sort of base. In this base, it's like, well, that's your 3rd base? That's kind of a problem.
Absolutely. And here we go. Finding some more damage on the gas line, and 1-1 Lings on the way, and a lot of them at that. I kind of am curious, though, that this is a pretty late timing if he is going to go for some aggression on that 3rd base. There's so many. There's already like a SimCity there. There's a cannon. There's a lot of sentries, mothership core as well. Maybe that's simply just to be defensive right now. Maybe he's waiting for a timing to come across the map.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The fourth base for Leenock, if he decides to take one in a moment here, is already creeped up, and it's vulnerable if he takes the middle one. But he could also take the one to the top right, which I think he is actually sitting a drone there right now. I think that's a pretty good base to take because it's so far away from the Protoss. He's going this heavy Ling style too, which is going to allow him to shut down any harassment that goes over there.
Yeah, it's cool style. I mean, it can get pretty inferior against certain sort of compositions, but because we are seeing +2 and a lot of Blink Stalkers on the way, it's gonna last until these mutas come out or Infestors if he chooses to.
Line of sight blockers on this map, man. That Queen doesn't know what's over there.
Oh, nice surround here. He's going to pick up at least one sentry.
Wow, forces the recall.
Yeah, it's going to sack a lot of that energy as well. He's not
many sentries using their energy as well there. Like,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he did a lot, but he's not going to really find anything beyond that because the SimCity is fantastic. Going to buy more time. I'd like to see him go into mutas, but it looks like he wants to go into Infestors from here.
Yeah, just 2 for now, but they will come out with pathogen glands. He's making so much gas-intensive stuff. Like, he's getting pathogen glands plus the 2 Infestors, 2 upgrades for his Lings, and of course later on his Ultras, which I think are going to be the tech of choice here.
Yeah, certainly so. I'd like to see him add more Queens, and I'm sure he's going to do so very shortly, so his Ultras can get pretty buff. A couple of mutas to get rid of any Warp Prisms on the map is also a fantastic move.
This is really cool play out of Leenock here.
Yeah.
Fourth base is scouted. There's no drones to kill. He might actually try to maneuver his army up there. He does have enough for another recall now. But if he gets caught, he's going to really regret this move out. This is a tough move to do here for Blaze.
Oh, here we go. He's going to have a lot of force field to do so, but these Fungals going to create problems. Oh, just off.
Oracle over here trying to get damage done, but he miscontrols it, and this is going to automatically attack Queen. Oh, the Queen was low, so I take it back. And kill a few drones here.
Yeah, he's going to do some work. Muta's going to come out and finish the job. But yeah, that is a fourth base now. It's going to create even more problems. Muta flying into the Warp Prism as well. And we're actually seeing Leenock in such a great position. He's going to be primed to go into those Ultras very easily. And it's going to be up to Blaze to identify this and start making Immortals.
Yeah, because the Colossi he's making right now are definitely not what he's going to want. It's actually kind of funny because Colossi have kind of disappeared from this matchup. They're usually used now as a counter to Infestors. And like Ultras just wreck Colossi because, you know, the Colossi are a good unit because they do high damage over to small units and kill quite a lot of them. But against big units, the Ultras absorb all that splash damage and they don't really care about it because it's slow attack damage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not a couple of Colossus is not a bad choice at all against this though as well because there is so many Zerglings. Start wiping out massive packs of that. And then you add some Immortals and go into Archons from there to help tank. It's like sort of like this great, well-rounded composition.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to even maybe try to hit before the Ultras are ready with these Colossi. They do have range.
It's ambitious. Actually, Leenock going to work on these rocks to contribute to buy some time here.
Ooh, if he gets those rocks, look at that Fungal, man.
Nice Fungal.
Fungal, and then the rocks kill a ton of Stalkers here, actually. Then he locks the rest of those down. The Observer might even go down here to a Chain Fungal. I think it will.
That would actually be a really important move there. He's not going to get it.
1 health on that Observer.
Yeah.
He's going to finish it. A smart move.
Smart move, but that costs one of his very few Fungals, so he really needs to wait for these Ultras. He cannot really fight without them. Maybe a Blinding Cloud will help for the moment.
Okay, big attack here. Blinding Cloud does help the Stalkers blink through it. A big pull on this Colossus, but there's no follow-up. Colossus goes free here.
Yeah, that was not a good call. He should have been investing in another Blinding Cloud to help zone out until more Ultras come and reinforce.
So many Stalkers. They don't even have +3 yet, but look, the Warp Prism survives. Now he's looking at so many of his expensive gas units. Pushing through here, 5 Ultras about to pop, but if they get cut off, if they get targeted down like this one right here, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's really nothing left. He's essentially, the backbone has been broken. All these units are going to be coming out, but he's got to find some great engagements here. He needs more Ultras clumped together so he can deal with this giant Stalker ball.
Even the Mothership Core survives here. Actually, those Mulas not finishing off. He Blinding Clouds here, but the Stalkers just block. And look at the Zealots at the front to tank the damage. And then the Stalkers are going to finish off these Ultras from behind. I think that's game, Moonglade.
Yeah, he is way too far ahead at this point. Down goes the third base. Down goes the army again. Ultras coming out, but they're useless in such small numbers without a lot of support.
That's it.
Blaze found his timing, man. It was a tight timing, but he certainly found it.
That was a crazy engagement there, even with the Fungal Stalkers getting killed by the rocks. I mean, just perfect control there as well. The grab, I feel, on the Colossus, you're totally right. I think better would have been a Blinding Cloud. After the Stalkers went forward, just Blinding Cloud again on top of those blunt Stalkers. Will the Stalkers that blink forward?
Yeah, certainly so. I think we're going to see him tap out in just a sec.
All right, Blaze bringing it back here. Good time warp on top of those drones. Blinks on the Ultra, GG. And Blaze takes it. You and I were right on that prediction.
Yeah, man, I was feeling it. Leenock just not in good form currently. He looked great going into the late game if he was allowed to do so, but Blaze had other things in mind, making the Colossus and going towards the kill. He knew that Leenock invested so much into these mass Zerglings.
Choya giving that big double high five. Looks so happy to see center as well. Come down to congratulate him.
Well, they're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, they can. You know, Young versus Zest, this is not actually a crazy matchup. I mean, if you look at, say, even, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, I don't even know why I'm saying Young versus Zest. I looked at that screen, I'm like,
what are you talking about? Well,
whoa.
Departure versus Jack.
I was like, when did Byung go on SBENU? Like, I look at your screen, I'm like, you have the other matchup open. I'm like, whoa.
That would be great. No, Departure versus Jackson on Coda. Departure, we know this guy. We've seen him a lot in the past, and he is not impressed.
Yeah, he has won some crazy matchups that he shouldn't have, though, like beating Hero.
Yeah, that's true. Super gimmick styles. I mean, he always bust out those gimmicks, and maybe they can get the job done. Jakji, he isn't the strongest player either.
Yeah, Jakji is not the same